All right, we're live. It's Joe Rosen and Lissette Hurtado. We're excited today to talk to you about a big question that I get, especially this time of year, which is it a smart thing to sell during the holidays? That's a really interesting question, right? And, the obvious thought behind it is people come out at certain times to buy, and there's reasons that people come out. But the obvious thought is when the holidays are rolling around, everybody's busy. They're busy going to Thanksgiving. They're busy purchasing presents, planning parties, going to parties, cleaning up, all these crazy things. So wouldn't it be more intelligent to come back maybe the second, third week of January and put it on then? So, Lissette, I'm going to turn it over to you. What do you tell a seller on December, well, let's say November 29th, when you're meeting with them and they say, or they ask that exact question?
Well, I think there's two factors to really take into consideration. One is the market conditions. And right now we're in the perfect seller market conditions. So why would you pass up the opportunity and wait till January? And the second one is location. We're in Florida. When do people come to Florida the most? In the winter, and you have the snowbirds. So you are going to be listing at the prime time, specifically when you have these snowbirds coming in to stay with their family for the holidays and they want to take advantage of that opportunity and start searching. So if you have your home listed, you're going to grab all these buyers coming in and looking at your property. Instead of waiting till after the holidays in January, some of them may have already left to go back home.
I like what you said there. And for those of you who don't know, I used to sell in Minnesota. Minnesota gets cold during the holidays, man. It is brisk. So sometimes it'll be 10, 20, 30 degrees below zero. The last thing anybody wants to do, regardless of how motivated they are, is get in and out of a frozen car and go look at a frozen house. And the sellers don't want to leave their warm house to go do something that's frozen. So there it was a little bit different. But I still wanted to push those people to look at the data, right? Because the data matters. And they're much different than here. I looked up how many listings, active listings, not sold, not pending, but active, come off the market for the holidays. And when I looked at the last 2 years, I didn't see more than a 10% reduction in listings. When you look at Minnesota, I remember seeing much bigger reductions in listing inventory, right? They were coming off in hordes. And I remember I had a list of hundreds of people that I would call on February 1st to say, hey, the holidays are over. It's starting to hopefully warm up a little bit. Are you thinking about maybe coming back on? And it was a big change in inventory. Here, we just don't see that change in inventory. My good friend Noel Johnson here, he's a big broker with Premier up in St. Cloud, Minnesota. He says it's 36 degrees up there. That is a pretty warm day, man. That's warm at the end of November, and it's only going to get colder, right? So we looked at those inventory rates, but as those inventory rates drop in a place like Minnesota, you know that your competition, even if there's not as many buyers, if there's not as many sellers, you really want to analyze that data to see if it's a smart time or not a smart time. Down here in Florida, I'm not seeing the reduction in listings. And what we're seeing is the same amount of buyers, if not more, right? Because you have all the snowbirds that are coming down. They want that nice, warm summer. And a lot of those people get here and they're like, man, this is great. We should stay here. So you see sales tick up, not down, right? So the only reason I can think of that I would tell somebody to wait until the holidays are over is if you've got someone who's getting a lot of family over, they're not as motivated to sell. They'd like to sell. They don't have to sell. It doesn't matter if I sell now or if I sell in 6 months. Then I'd probably say, hey, if you've got all of that inconvenience in front of you, let's talk in January, man. But if you are sincerely motivated, the numbers are very strong for putting it on as soon as possible, especially in this market, like you said. Would you add anything to that, Lissette?
No, I couldn't agree more. It's very uncomfortable if you're coming to go see a property and then you have family there, you have to ask them to leave. It's an inconvenience on both ends. So if you do have family over the holidays, yeah, I would say probably wait. Or you know what, if it's already listed, put specific times and period of times that you're going to be available to leave the property and show it. It may not be the best for optimization for showing, but at least you're getting your property showed and viewed. But other than that, take advantage of the market we're in. Take advantage of the snowbirds, of the warm weather, even though it's kind of chilly for me today at what are we, 50, 60 degrees?
Yeah, I went out for a run this morning with 55 and raining, and I'm like, man, I'm becoming a wimp.
Yeah, but you know what? We're in Florida. So that is one of the advantages of living here.
Yeah. So one last thing that I looked at data wise, right now in Port St. Lucie with single family homes, the average days on market is right around 18, 19 days, right? And honestly, it's not that bad because there are a lot of people who are sitting on the market for 4, 5, 6 months who just are incredibly overpriced, or their home just isn't dressed up well. They're not staging it. They're not turning the lights on for photos. Maybe they don't even have any interior photos. All of those homes are really pulling that number up considerably. If you've got a home that's staged well, priced right, and you put it on the market with some sharp photos, that sucker's gone in 2, 3, 4 days. And you've got offers on day one. You're just waiting 3 or 4 days because you want to see how many offers you can get in to leverage them. So when I looked at the days on market, back then, I looked at September through February of 2020 to 2021, right? So roughly a year ago. And for those 6 months, it didn't sway more than 3 days in a single month, which tells me, and that includes the holidays, people are selling just as quickly at the same rate during the holidays as not in the holidays. So again, I would end with this. If it's inconvenient and you're not as motivated, wait until January, wait until the family's gone and you can comfortably, or as comfortably as you can, sell your home, right? You're probably going to need, I tell my folks this, Lissette, if you're going to list with me, those first 3, 4 days, just go get a hotel, man. You don't even want to be at your house. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a circus. I'm going to have everybody in Port St. Lucie in your doggone house. They're looking at this sucker. So just go get a hotel room, right? But if you're not worried about that and you don't have the family in and or you're motivated, I think it's a phenomenal time. Lissette, give us some parting words, some nuggets, something to make us feel good about going into this week.
You know what? We're going into the holiday season. This is a time that we are also thankful to be able to share with our agents and our friends and our family. But the market is still hot. It's still moving really quickly. So if you're thinking of buying and selling, it's a great time. Keep also in mind for buyers, interest rates are climbing a little bit. So if you're thinking of buying and want to wait till the holidays, that might be motivation not to wait. So yeah, that's my little nugget.
Are you seeing, side question, but you create another question here. Are you seeing within your little realm, your bubble, any buyer hesitation based on rate changes?
What I've been seeing in them wanting to get this done and wrapped up even quicker. So I had
Yeah, I agree.
buyers that are pre-approved and they had a certain rate and they've checked back and that has changed in the last few weeks and last month. So if anything, they are even more motivated to tie down a property.
Yep. I've seen the same thing. The rates haven't gone up so much that it's scaring people away from buying. It's doing the same thing for me. They're just saying, Joe, we need to find a property and get locked in now. And for those of you who don't know, when you get pre-approved, you're not locked in a rate. You have to go find a house and you have to go under contract on that house. Once you go under contract, now you can talk to your lender and you can choose to lock your rate, right? But your rate lock only lasts so long. So you do not want to do it until you've got that house and you're all settled down. So that is the push for that. And I think that's a great point too, is you're going to have that. But really rates, if you guys are like, oh my God, Joe said rates are going up. Rates were in the mid to upper twos. Now I would say they're in the upper twos to lower threes. And even that statement isn't accurate because there are so many variables, right? Your income, your credit, how long you've been at your job, what type of loan product you're using. There's a million different things that come into play. Which lender you're using, how many options they have with the different lenders that they're using. You've got so many different things that come into play. But rates have gone up a little bit, not a lot, a little bit, but certainly enough to motivate people to get on the ball and want to lock it in. So that's a great point, Lissette. Lissette, as always, I appreciate it. I hope you have a phenomenal day. Thanks for all the great information. Guys, if you have any questions or if you're looking to put your home on, feel free to give us a call. We'd be more than happy to help. Have a good holiday.
Have a great one, guys. Thanks, Joe.